The 16th law in the book The 48 Laws of Power says, raise your value through absence and scarcity. And that is not why I stopped posting videos on my YouTube channel. April 14th, 2019 is the date of the last uploaded video, which makes little over 2 years of not uploading content on this channel. The last video has around 500,000 views and the one before that over 20 million views, which makes not continuing to upload on a booming channel even stranger, or so it seems. But to understand the reason behind the break and what I've learned from it, we need to understand the main motives and intentions for starting the channel in the first place. When you're beginning something new or investing your time and money, the best way to do it is to minimize the risk taken while simultaneously maximizing the potential reward you can receive. And by that analogy, this channel was created. I'm risking dropping out from college, my time, and potentially other ventures I can pursue while gaining knowledge about a particular subject, followers who respect and value my work, and in the end, monetary compensation for the goods and services the channel provides. The part with minimizing the risk is that even if the channel never took off, I already received compensation in the form of knowledge, good habits, and a better self. And this was a good strategy. Multiple motivators to produce high levels of motivation in pursuing the venture and making sure I stayed on track even when the results were slow and inconsistent. But as time passed, due to the repetitive nature of the market, reading about self-help became less and less enjoyable, and it seemed there were fewer and fewer things to learn, so the reward slowly shifted to the material component of the equation, which now I see was not a long-term solution. As the channel grew in size, the rewards kept growing as well, and soon enough I was a young man with plenty of resources and very limited responsibilities. I was living what some people might say a privileged life. I had all the time in the world to think, ponder upon and reflect on all kinds of ideas, which soon enough led me to the conclusion that the material is not a motivator past a certain threshold. When you can afford most of the things you crave, you start to think for the bigger picture. And this is where some of the problems started to show up. I effectively lost all of my motivators, both the internal, the knowledge and joy of learning about self-development, and the external, the motivation for money and status. At first, it was just a 2 or 3 week break, which quickly turned into 6 months and soon a year. I started to fill my time with internet binging and excessive gaming, and slowly, without noticing, my keystone habit of learning, producing videos and striving for improvement that centered my character for everything else slowly vanished. It was replaced with bad habits and emotions. Working out was replaced with video games and doing meaningful work with internet binging. It was a negative feedback loop and a hard one to get out of, even with all of the tools I've learned and had at my disposal. If you've seen the video The Choice on my channel, I was the character with the bad habits for the first time in my life. I unintentionally and without noticing stripped myself from all of the good habits and replaced them with bad ones. After that, the imposter syndrome kicked in and I was asking myself, how can you make videos about improvement when you're playing video games all day, wasting your time without doing any meaningful work? I was not in a good system and needed to change something fast, both for my physical health as well as my mind. But the title of the video is not why I didn't post for 2 years, it is what I've learned from it. I've learned that learning and improvement has other dimensions to it, and it doesn't always have to come from a book. I learned that going through tough times can teach you more than reading about it, and my motivation for self-improvement is increased once again. Instead of just speculating about bad habits, now I've been on both sides of the spectrum, with super productive habits and a day-to-day improvement, and also with decaying ones and destruction. I have a better understanding of the difference keystone habits have and what compounding effect does, both for the better and worse. And I've compiled few rules which could help you lead a more satisfying and fulfilling life. Number 1. Human behavior change is very slow and very hard. Even after learning and teaching about self-improvement for years, I proved to myself that I can slip off the horse just as easily as anybody. My advice is, if you have good habits, do whatever you can to stick to them. Habits have some kind of momentum. The good ones push you to do more of them, and the bad ones drag you down into a negative spiral. And no matter how much willpower you possess, the system of habits will determine your direction, and knowing this upfront will drastically assist you in your future. And to help you build or sustain your habits, it's a good idea to use some kind of system that will guide you and keep you accountable. The system may be a habit tracker, a calendar, accounting partner, or an app. And for this video, I actually partnered up with Fabulous, a self-care app that will help you establish or improve your daily routine and create long-lasting habits that stick. It was developed at Duke University and it's based on behavioral science. It breaks down healthy habits into very small tasks that you can easily achieve every day. The good thing is that it's fully customizable and provides schedules, tasks, and reminders specific to you and the changes that you wish to make. Whether it's fixing bad habits like browsing social media, thinking about the past too often, excessive eating, smoking, or drinking. Or you can start building good ones by focusing on your productivity, self-discipline, fitness, or motivation. And the first 100 people who click on the link will get a free week trial and 25% off a Fabulous subscription. I will leave a link in the description box below and also in the comments. So thanks to Fabulous for sponsoring the video. Number 2. Your life needs some kind of balance. There are a few dimensions you need to balance in order to not be miserable. There is health, love, family, career, and money. In your case, these might not be exactly the same, but some kind of variation from them. You cannot be truly happy if you drastically lack one or some of these. It doesn't matter if you have $1 billion if your health is deteriorating from not working out. And you won't be happy if you build a promising career but have nobody to share it with. Also, if you are in love but you are lazy without any aspirations or dreams for your future, it won't last long. So try to identify these dimensions and balance them to the best of your ability. Number 3. Mental health matters more than you think. Especially in the last year with COVID-19, mental health shows its importance more than ever. Being in a good mental state will drastically improve all other areas of your life. So focus and pay attention to it. Personally, I've learned that in a lot of situations when it's rational, anxiety can actually be your friend. I've looked at negative emotions as something you should avoid, but now I understand that anxiety and fear can help change certain aspects of your life that can cost you in the future. Instead of dealing with them in the short term by playing video games, drinking, or internet binging, try to figure out what your anxiety is trying to tell you. In my case, it was trying to tell me that being not productive, staying indoors, playing video games is not a solution to anything. Next time you have negative emotions, don't run from them instantly. Maybe they're trying to tell you something. Number 4. Educate yourself about dopamine. Dopamine is a type of neurotransmitter and it plays a role in how we feel pleasure. It's a big part of our uniquely human ability to think and plan. It helps us strive, focus, and find things interesting. In addition to our mood, dopamine also affects movement and memory. Healthy levels of dopamine drives us to seek and repeat pleasurable activities, while low levels can have an adverse physical and psychological impact. And the more you know about dopamine and how it affects your life, the more you can use it to your advantage. I will dedicate future videos especially to this topic and how you can bind dopamine to small intrinsic rewards to have infinite energy in pursuing your goals. I know this video is kinda different, but I wanted to address and talk to you guys about why I didn't post for 2 years and what I've learned from it. Currently, I'm researching and working on a ton of new videos, so if you're interested, you can activate your notification bell, and if not, I hope this video helped you in some way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.